Today's task in the woodshop build is to move the compressor back over to its final position, get it mounted to the floor, and hook it up to the equipment shutoff. Once I get the locations on the floor marked, I'm going to be mounting it with these big 1/2 inch by 5.5 inch red hat anchors, but those are going to poke through these anti-vibration pads. I was going to try using the machine with just the anti-vibration pads, but the more I think about it, I really don't want to take a chance because the compressor will come on at times when I'm not in here, and if it were to start to walk, it's going to cause all kinds of problems and it may very well fall over. So I'll just mount it permanently to the floor, but I'm going to be using these vibration pads under the feet. So the first thing to do is clear a path and waddle this big thing back over there. Okay, it's a little crooked and I want to move it a little more towards the door, but we got to check and see if our union, yeah, that's going to work just fine. There's plenty of room in this whip, and in the final setup, I'm going to measure from the shroud, like right from here over to the wall, and then do the same on the other side. And I think I'll measure from the edge of the bolt holes as well. We'll get it exactly where we want it. And then, yeah, this is going to be difficult. I had planned on just rocking them up onto these. Let me show you how this goes. My original plan was to use this anti-vibration pad with a hockey puck on top of it, and then tip the unit back, rest it on the hockey puck, do the same thing with the other feet, and kind of hope that this doesn't want to walk. But yeah, you could see that the hockey puck is roughly the same size as this foot here, and even a tiny bit of walking is going to have the compressor fall off of this setup. So I can't really use both of these anymore if I want to use the bolts. So I'm just going to use these. I'm going to drill these out and we'll drill the holes in the floor and get this mounted down. Okay, that looks about right. I had to measure from this big bracket here instead of the shroud because the shroud isn't really all that accurate. Okay, now I'm going to take a Sharpie and try to go straight down in the center of these holes and make a mark in the floor. Then we'll break out the big drill and drill some holes. Okay, I got my 3 bolts in, and while I was putting them in, or after I put this one in, I noticed that this one was shinier. And sure enough, this is just bright galvanized plated, and these are hot dip galvanized. They were all in the same bin. I was looking for all hot dip galvanized. It's not going to make any difference at all, but kind of pisses me off. Okay, let's get this area cleaned up, and then I got to drill the holes in the pads. Before I forget, this is SDK Plus DeWalt drill, and this thing drills through concrete like butter. The bits are expensive, but I've had this same bit. I used it on that wall right there. I used it on the compressor, well, 2 compressors. You can use these darn near forever, and the bits that you get for a regular drill are going to burn out almost instantly. These things are a great thing to have, but if you don't have a huge amount of use for it, I would get it used, but really good to have. All right, that looks really nice. That was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be to rock this onto the bolts. Now she's bolted down nice and tight, and we got the anti-vibration going on as well. Next thing to do, I think I'm going to clean this up a bit first. Then we're going to go from here over to here and run the electrical. And that's going to be some of this flex conduit. And here's my fittings right here. So let's get this cleaned up and run the electrical, and that'll wrap it up for the day. Just checking on the breaker here. This is the one for the compressor. It's turned off. We're going to turn that one off as well. That one is for the dust collector, but it also goes down to there. And our tester is working. And the dust collector is off. And the outlets down there are off. So now we're going to pop out the knockout there and get started. And there you have it. The compressor is bolted to the floor and it is all wired up and ready to go. We'll put this in the off position, which is down. See the off right there? And it's still off at the breaker as well. We're not going to fire this up tonight. We need to go through the break-in process. As soon as I fire it up the first time, we're just going to go through the break-in process. We got plenty of oil. And what I got to do is take this whip off of here and just let the air go free flow through here and let this break in for, I believe it's 20 minutes, but I'll check that out tonight. Once it's broken in, then we close the valve and let this fill up and then check it for leaks. And if there's no leaks, then we got to connect this whip to the system here. And then we check for leaks everywhere else. And by everywhere else, that would be right in here, and that T up there, that end over there, and then way over to there. We'll put some soap and water on it and look for leaks. Hopefully everything runs perfect and we can get off of the compressor and move on to the drops from the dust collection. But we'll see tomorrow.